This is Entertainment Roundup. I'm J77 and got a couple of stories I want to talk about here. Before I get started, I want to give a special shout out to Screen Junkies and Simpsons. You guys did a great job with the Spider-Man 2 team up. Both of them have done a Spider-Man Honest Review trailer and also everything wrong with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie. But they did it in a switch. Normally, Simpsons does the everything wrong video while Screen Junkies does the honest trailer. Well, they did it in reverse. It was Screen Junkies who did a everything wrong video, which they did a great job with, and you also had Simpsons doing the honest trailer. Also did a good job, and it was actually kind of fun to watch and seeing how they did it. So, great job with that, guys. They even made the media the big news for your accomplishments, and it pretty much from those two videos alone, it pretty much solidifies why. Although I thought that the second one was a bit of improvement in terms of chemistry, the storyline was just all over the place, and it was just hard for me to actually give it a recommendation rating of a 3 or better star. It still was fun to watch. I still recommend it for those who are diehard Spider-Man fans, but story-wise, don't expect too much. Again, these guys did a great job of pointing out all the mishaps of that film, as well as their honest opinion as well. I advise you guys to check it out. In fact, I may leave the link so you guys can see it for yourself. Just what a good job they have done. Alright, with that being said, might as well get on to some of the stories that I have been monitoring in the last 7 days. And I might as well start with Cee Lo Green. Cee Lo Green, as in case you guys haven't heard, have lost his TV show. It has been canceled due to some very not appropriate things he's said on Twitter. Now, I'm not going to keep preaching the word of the choir here about be careful what you said on these social networks. I think I said enough already. And to be honest with you, if you don't know by now that your words, everything you do is being monitored and will be taken very, very seriously, I don't know what else to tell you. But in this case, Cee Lo Green should have learned that. Especially when his status, and needed to say, it goes more than what he has said on Twitter. There's a certain thinking pattern that he has that, in my opinion, in the opinion of a lot of other people, especially those who have dealt with some of the stuff he has dealt with, he needs to take seriously because it could land him into even more hot water and he can't get out of. But basically, he went into Twitter saying that if a woman is unconscious, it's not rape. Asserting that the woman cannot possibly be rape if she's not consciously there, which makes absolutely no sense. It shocked me, it shocked a lot of people who read that Twitter, and as you kind of expected, it led to a series of backlash, especially from women's groups across the country. Now, he did delete the tweet, and he also had made a apology on Twitter saying how deeply sorry he was, and as well as that's not the way he was. He thinks that's not his thinking process. But again, I have to question that, and I have a lot of reasons to question that. Now, as a result of this, as you know, he had a TV show, and that TV show is now gone. TBS is not renewing it. Obviously, this situation was a big part of it, and he has a lot of grounds to make up because of the fact that he said a lot of women's groups are not letting him off the hook, and rightfully so. Now, again, the reason why I'm saying this is how I question the apology is because this is not the first incident that happens with him. There's a similar situation that has happened, and it stems back to his no contest plea not too long ago. In case you haven't know, in case you guys do not know about the news, what happened, Cee Lo Green was prohibited no contest to slipping ecstasy into a woman's food without her acknowledgement. As a result, he is serving probation. He is taking, I believe, counseling for drug and alcohols, as well as keeping tabs with other stuff to keep him out of trouble. Some of those, of course, being probation, other probational hearings that he has to go to. He is allowed to go out of state, to do some promotional TV tours, but he also has to keep tabs with what goes on as he goes on these states. So basically, he's being monitored. Now, as a result of this no contest ruling, some of this stuff that has happened cannot be used against him in future cases, which pretty much is being sealed. The drug part is not, so that's one of the things that's gone down. But when you look at the conditions, and by the way, I will leave a link to both stories, by the way, so you guys can check it out yourself. As a result, I can't help but he felt getting slapped in the wrist. He hasn't really learned anything in what has happened in his first bout with the law, and with the situation what he has done, and especially what has happened now. There's something going on there. You just simply can't just ignore that. And I think if you're a fan, I know a lot of fans are going to be sticking up for him. A lot of fans are going to be supporting him. The fans need to understand one thing. And look, I don't hate the guy's music, but there's this character that really seriously needs attention. He seriously needs to be. It's an issue that needs to be dealt with, and that's something that is on him. There's a deviant thinking that is very dangerous and can lead into a situation where he himself cannot get out of, and as a result can actually hurt another person. Keep in mind, this is not something I'm just saying out of thin air. He has played no contest for slipping a date rape drug in a woman's food. Why would someone do something like that? And why would you actually say something as mind-boggling, as unconscionable as what he said on Twitter? All right, this is no coincidence. He wasn't trying to be funny. There is a thinking pattern that goes on that he needs to address, and he needs to address it fast. He needs to really sit down with someone. He needs to pretty much go to a group therapy, and he needs to really address some of the issues that's going on, because this is not a coincidence that has happened. All right. You can make all the excuses for all you want, but the one thing you cannot deny, there is a pattern. That pattern is right there. It's visible for everyone to see. He needs to deal with this pattern. There's something going on that he needs to deal with it. There's a thinking that is messed up, and he needs to deal with it. If he thought that what he had written on that tweet was okay, something is going wrong. And I feel personally, and this is my own opinion, and you can say I'm wrong all you want. I personally did it because he felt the heat, he felt the pressure, and he needed to do something to slow down the damage. Right? To me, he's not dealing with it. If you're telling me that that's the best he can do, and he's not seeking counseling relating to what he has said, then he's not dealing with it. To me, he's just doing it as a purpose, as damage control, and nothing more. There is a thinking pattern that needs to be addressed, and he needs to really, really address it. That's my feeling on the situation. That's my feeling on the whole thing, and I'm gonna leave it for you guys to come up with your own conclusions and leave your comments on it. But don't go and think about it. What he said was disturbing, not funny, and it really, with this along with the charges that he was previously charged with. There's something going on, and I think that it's high time that Cee Lo move away from the spotlight for a while and deal with this, because this is not a coincidence. There's something in his head. If he thought that was, if he meant that, and he wrote that down thinking there's nothing wrong with what he wrote down, then it's only going to get worse from there, guys. I'm being real. Comments on the session, I'll leave it for you guys to take a look at. But I'm moving on, because there is some updates that has occurred with the Joan River situation. I've been keeping an eye on this throughout the better part of the week, and there has been some updates that there is an investigation that's going on the way. This is from the New York State Department of Health. According to the article done by Yahoo Celebrities, the New York State Department of Health is in fact investigating the surgery which led to Joan River's cardiac arrest. The Associated Press reported on Thursday, on the 4th of September, that was the first time that has occurred, and other news started filtering out. It says the Health Department spokesman James O'Hara said that they are looking into the whole matter surrounding the 81-year-old's comedic outpatient procedure last Thursday. River stopped breathing during the minor procedure on her vocal cords and was rushed to St. Mount St. Nine Hospital in Manhattan. There she was admitted in critical condition and placed on a medical-induced coma. This was happened on the 31st. Doctors began bringing Rivers out of the coma, but Fashion Police Health still remains on life support. The article continues to go on saying that the TV personality's daughter Melissa has released a daily update following her mother's hospitalization. The most recent one was shared on Wednesday, September 3rd. My mother has been moved out of the intensive care and into a private room where she's being kept comfortable. And she also thanks her fans for their continued support. The article also goes on to say that according to the Associated Press, her declined to discuss specifics surrounding the health department's current investigation. E! Network also confirmed that the same outlet on Thursday that Rivers' Fashion Police series will take on 2 weeks hiatus. The popular series, which also stars Kelly Osbourne and Gillian Richie, will not air on Friday or next. The next. He told the Associated Press, as we await Joan and Melissa return in front and behind the camera. Melissa is a weekly show executive producer. So lots of stuff is happening here now. I wouldn't jump to conclusions on this investigation just yet. I would not make my own analysis when a situation like this, because like I said before, when I first heard this story, when this story got broken out, there was so many conflicting reports about Joan Rivers. She have gotten surgery. It happened, the surgery. Nobody knows if she actually took the surgery. Many people thought that she was there discussing the surgery when she had the cardiac arrest. So there was so many conflicting stories that's out there. The most we have heard was that she went to this medical hospital. The medical hospital called 911 and she was rushed to the hospital. That's the most consistent. We've also heard stories that the family may sue the clinic, which since then hasn't been followed up. That story pretty much died down, but doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And to me, the Department of Investigations is a standard procedure to me. Something happened like this, surgery that possibly went wrong, or something that happened in the clinic, they're gonna investigate. And to me, that's a good thing. Investigate, find out what happened, what was being said, what Rivers wanted to do, what was there, what was the purpose of being there. If she wanted the surgery, or indeed had the surgery, was she told about the risks, the procedures that was supposed to be simple, but what risk was? What was her health status? What waiver that she signed? Get everything done, and then and only then can we actually say, okay, this is what seemed to happen. So glad that the Department of Health is investigating it. Glad that we're going to get more details with them also doing their part on the side. But in the end, it also comes down to Joan Rivers and her health. I hope she recovers. I hope she does make a full recovery. A lot of media are saying that may not happen. We have seen so many conflicting stories saying that she may never recover. She may be in a vegetative state for the rest of her life. Hopefully that's not the case. But the most important thing is, part is, I hope she makes that recovery, get back on her feet, and continue doing what she loves doing. So I will leave a link to this latest development. It is an updated version. You guys can take a look at yourself and pretty much judge for yourself of what's going on here. All right. There is some news, and guys, in case you guys are a big fan of How to Train Your Dragon, there is going to be a third film, but that film has been pushed back a few more years. Originally, it was supposed to have a 2016 release. That will now become a 2017 release. Now, the reason why, according to some of the articles I've read, they do not want to be in a competition with Pixar, which is actually releasing its Finding Nemo sequel, which is actually not even called Finding Nemo. It's actually called Finding something else. I believe it's the female fish that I have read up on it. The name escapes me right now, but that's one of the things. You also have other films that's coming out, so they don't want to be in a competition with a lot of films. In fact, they want to put it in a spot where there's less competition, and I can't really blame them for doing that. And to be very fair, I think How to Train Your Dragon, I think it would done better if there's not too many things they got to be stacked against it. So I think this is actually a smart move. I think it's actually a good move, and hopefully, the third one will pretty much link all two films, all the other two films, and make it probably one of the better trilogies, which, by the way, animation don't have a good record on. So maybe this will be the first one to do it, but again, it comes down to story. It comes down to what they're bringing in terms of animated quality, and it also just comes down to whether the fans just still wants it. From what I had gotten from it, a lot of people do like the How They Train Your Dragon series. They do like the way they've done it. The second one surprised a lot of people. Was less about comedy and more adult theme, which had a very shocking third act, which caught me by surprise. And I think what they have done, they actually matured the movie, and that's something I think people did not expect. It they did not expect the How You Train Your Dragon to actually mature from being that comedy film to being dark the way it was, and there's no question this was a darker film. So I'm actually kind of curious how 3 is going to handle, especially since if you saw the ending, how that whole thing end up. So third one definitely is looking forward to it. DreamWorks is doing a lot of good things. I actually like, especially with the fact they may be making a few more Kung Fu Panda films, which I think a lot of people is looking forward to. A lot of people want to see how Kung Fu Panda 3 and even 4, for what I understand, holds up. So hopefully this will be gone right. Hopefully this will be done great, and I'm hoping that things will look up. All right, question that I was given to a friend of mine: will I be watching football? Of course I want to watch football. I'm a Jets fan. I gotta watch my team. Am I making any predictions? No. I don't. Honestly, for the AFC, I don't have much to say. If you put me behind the wall and ask me what team is going to win the AFC East, hands down, I think New England's going to win it. This is New England's team until somebody overtakes them. Ain't going to be Miami. Ain't going to be Buffalo. Jets, not even, I'm a fan of theirs. I don't think they're going to overtake them, so who else is going to be there? I'll tell you what I am interested in seeing is I want to see how Seattle's going to do, because I know Seattle, as I'm speaking right now, will be playing later on tonight. That is the very first official game of the season, and they're facing Green Bay. I'm actually looking forward to see how they work with that. But to me, they did a lot of changes with with some of the rules. A lot of people say that's because what Seattle has done. It did a lot of most penalties, which I kind of find it funny they didn't make any in the preseason. But I am kind of curious on how this team plays. I'm kind of curious, can they repeat the same magic they had last year, or was last year something of going to win? So when it comes to the NFL, it's very, very hard to have a dynasty. You really have to be that special team to do it, and I think that's why I got a lot of respect for the New England Patriots. They've done it so long, and to me, that's the true dynasty. Yeah, they didn't win every time, but they was always in it. There's only like a few times it didn't make the playoffs, and one of those times they actually had a winning record. So there you go. So to me, I'm looking forward for the NFL, especially since neither New York team is going to do much in terms of the last legs of the season. The Yankees are barely hanging on to 500, let alone forget about the playoffs. I'm just hoping they finish about 500. And the Mets, well, what can I tell you? I'm not a big fan of Terry Collins. I'm surprised they're giving him as much leg room as he did. But it's always more between Terry Collins. The whole team needs a whole new facelift, a whole new identity, a whole new brand before I actually take those guys seriously throughout the series. But to me, football's here. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it, and so bring it on. I think that's just about it. That's just about wraps it up, guys. I got a few more episodes to go. Those will be aired later on next week, and after that, we'll kick it off. It'll be the last episode. I'm gonna give you a heads up. Will be 2 hours long. I'm gonna be pulling a lot of stuff with that last series episode, and pretty much set up a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. It will be pretty much half of what the usual format that I normally do. But the second half will be pretty much wrapping up the summer lineup. I wanted to talk about that. Some films that failed, some films that not failed. Almost forgot. Wow. Might as well talk about this story. I almost forgot this story. Actually, it was in my list. I was thinking in my head that I'm forgetting something here. Might as well finish this off and leave it at the high note. But that's what I'm going to do with the season finale, guys. I'm going to do a little bit of one half storyline, one half looking over Hollywood films, and then end it with that. Look, at least until the award season come up. But look for that season finale to be just about that. Last story of the day. Almost forgot you existed. This is the last story of the day, and I'm going to talk about it. As you guys know, that Dwayne Johnson will be playing a character in the DC universe. This is good news for both Dwayne Johnson and for DC, and I'll tell you why. He's going to be playing Black Adam. The wrestler turned actor had tweeted this yesterday, Wednesday, and he have confirmed he will play the role in a Warner Brothers adaptation of Shazam. But it wasn't clear whether he will play the title character or the nemesis Black Adam. And I'm actually looking forward to see what he will do with this film. I think this will be pretty much it's a good move, getting The Rock to play this character. And I think this is a good move for Disney, that for not even for the character he's playing, but just for the film factors, they're finally giving us something different. And I'm actually hoping that they keep moving forward, keep bringing these other characters other than the Batman, Superman that they keep throwing every time on our faces. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what they're going to do. Mind you, I'm still concerned of who's going to write the script for reasons that still scratch my head. They keep going with the Nolan Ryan / Frank Miller connection, and I think that after a while, I think people finally get a little tired of it. They finally want to change it up a bit, have some sense of humor, as well as just mixing it up. They're tired of seeing that same old formula. Hopefully they got the message, because from what I understand that the Batman Superman or the Superman Batman movie that's coming out may switch it up a little bit. You hope they would, but then again, only time will tell. I am looking forward to seeing what they do. I am looking forward to seeing how they will portray the Black Adam. But again, this is going to be it's going to be very interesting. I'm happy that he's been selected. I'm happy he's going to do it. And now all you have to do is just wait and see what the first product looks like. So, with that being said, guys, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. No more forgetting about the article. What's your opinion about the stories I talked about? Leave it in the comment section below as usual. I'll leave links. And until next time, J77 saying take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.